The clairvoyance of being press is limited, and so we rely on press releases. Today I'm going to start off with 2 emails from the ESIC, the Esports Integrity Coalition, and they have nailed home a ban, a 2-year ban. As the headline says here, the Esports Integrity Coalition, ESIC, has banned Connor Hewlin, Zone C, formerly of the team Armor Legion Gaming, from all esports for 2 years from 10th May 2017 to 9th May 2019. Talking about the ban itself, they say here, Connor admitted that he cheated using a cheat/exploit, so I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of gaming exploit, apparently undetectable by Valve Anti-Cheat during the Metal State Samsung CSGO Championship in May 2017. As a result of his confession, the Integrity Commissioner was able, under the ESIC Anti-Corruption Code and the disciplinary procedure, to offer Connor a plea bargain, which Connor accepted, meaning a full hearing of the matter was also not necessary. Basically, Connor admitted to using an exploit in a CSGO tournament, and then the Esports Integrity Council then banned him, and as he confessed to it, there's no need to go through with the procedure or anything. There's no need to have an investigation to it, as he presented his own evidence, basically, because he confessed. They go on to say that Connor pleaded guilty at the first opportunity and had already voluntarily withdrawn himself from competitive CSGO when ESIC approached him with formal notice of charge. Again, basically, he dropped out by the time ESIC actually gave him formal notice of there being a ban. And then there are 2 quotes, one by Ian Smith, the Esports Integrity Commissioner, and the Metastate CEO Barry Leduza, pretty much saying just the same thing. It is very sad that someone has cheated, but these things have to not be tolerated, and if esports wants to have integrity, as the ESIC obviously does, then these things have to warrant punishment. This also connects with a second email that the ESIC sent out that goes with the first paragraph saying, the Esports Integrity Coalition, the ESIC, has today released a survey to canvass opinion on the appropriate sanctions for those caught cheating in esports. Following the recent controversy over various sanctions and decisions relating to cheating in esports, ESIC released a detailed position paper on this matter on 3rd April 2017. Following on from this, ESIC has created a survey to attempt to form some consistency across the esports industry based on the consensus of the esports community. The statement on May 3rd was basically an acknowledgement by the ESIC saying that there are differences to the severity of crimes committed in different circumstances. That being, if someone cheats in a public lobby, it still is cheating, but if someone cheats in a competition for $500,000 or something, like in a high-tier event, then that in itself is more severe than just cheating, because this was in reference to VAC bans. Ian Smith then later on in the release says, esports is a community-driven medium and therefore it makes sense to canvass opinion from the wider esports community. Following the conclusion of the survey, I hope we can come to a consensus on how to sanction cheats in esports and create a level of consistency that is deemed fair by the industry, because that is what needs to be done with a list of rules or regulations or anything like that. There has to be consistency across the board. There has to be a purposeful, purely set regulation to how the system works and how punishments are handed out and how everything is worked out. There has to be a 100% consistency across the board. So if you're interested in filling out the survey, I'm going to put the link in the description, as well as the ESI post from April 3rd. It's actually very interesting that organisations like the ESIC actually go towards the public and actually go for basically public opinion polling. Even I remember when boosting was such a big thing, like with the whole flare thing in Call of Duty. I remember that being a huge palaver years back, but even then it was more considered bad form, I think, for a while, and then it was banned or something, I don't know. This is part of the reason for things like this survey, is to set out a solid standard rather than sort of put everything on fluid terms that change from game to game. It also means that people like Call of Duty have a set standard of guidelines, which means they can modernize their gameplay and make something that isn't the same shit over and over and over and over again, because as long as there's strict guidelines to it, then they can create a mode or a gameplay style or anything like that that fit much more deeply with the rules and regulations. And that's it for the emails, and we're going to go on to the press releases that were released through Games Press. The first two releases are E3 releases. There's a lot of build-up going on for E3. Last time I covered Nintendo's, and this time it is for Natsume. Natsume may be a familiar name for many of you, as it is the developer of the Harvest Moon franchise. And this is the announcement of the next Harvest Moon that is coming to Switch, Steam, and PlayStation 4. They start off by saying, in celebration of Harvest Moon's 20th anniversary, Natsume Inc., a worldwide developer, publisher, family wanted video games, and Rising Star Games, European video game publisher and long-standing partner of Natsume, today announced an all-new title, Harvest Moon Light of Hope. The game will encompass 20 years of spirit that has made the franchise what it is today, and will be available on Nintendo Switch, Steam, and PlayStation 4. This is the first time the Harvest Moon brand will be on Steam and the Nintendo Switch. The title will be playable on both Switch and PC in the Natsume booth at E3 2017 in the South Hall booth 2047 in June. So this is basically a release saying, we're going to E3 to show off the game, the new Harvest Moon, which is going to be also available on PC. That's a change. That's something new. Never really expected it. I think Stardew Valley may have actually started a trend of actually getting Harvest Moon onto the PC. At the very end of the release, they also say, as part of the year-long 20th anniversary celebration, Natsume has also unveiled the re-release of Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life Special Edition and Harvest Moon Save the Homeland for PlayStation 4 and Harvest Moon 64 for the Nintendo Wii U. Rising Star Games, in cooperation with Natsume, announced its first ever app for smart devices, Harvest Moon Little Farmers. The history of the franchise can be seen at a news site with an official release date, artwork, box art, and interesting trivia. It's basically a page or section of the Natsume website. So that's a fair bit for your Harvest Moon fans, or fans of Stardew Valley, because Harvest Moon is basically what inspired, is basically pretty much the core inspiration behind Stardew Valley. And the second E3 press release is Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital has announced what they're doing for E3, and it's basically a picnic parking lot dinner thing. The very loose, fancy-free style of the very sort of, ooh, party man sort of style of the whole thing can be told by just the title. The parking lot across the street from the Los Angeles Convention Center, South Hall, and next door to Hooters. You can tell. This is why I love Devolver Digital. They are they're fun. They're just fun. They have a sense of, kind of like Adult Swim games. This is part of the reason why I like talking to Adult Swim games. Can't talk today. They have a sense of fun. They have a sense of sort of party, less sort of gathering of industry people to talk about industry things. It's basically just party, video games, free drink. If you ever do one of those things in London, done. Fucking done. That sort of tone continues on with the actual release proper, with them starting off by saying, semi-truck enthusiasts, Devolver Digital opened their impressively defined arms today and announced Indie Picnic, a free indie game showcase across the street from the E3, as the company has gleefully obtained the lease to both the remaining coveted parking lots. So when they mean picnic, they literally mean picnic, but it's kind of picnic in the sense of, like, going down to Brooklands or Silverstone or something. It's just food and beer in a parking lot. They continue on by saying, Indie Picnic is free to badge holders of any kind and will be located in the front parking lot directly across the street from the Los Angeles Convention Center, South Hall. The open event will run each day from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Basically, if you're going to E3 as media, press, industry, or as one of the public people, then you have entry to this. It's probably going to be fenced off. There's going to be a shit ton of computer gears, consoles, and all sorts of other things there as well. So they wouldn't want people nicking it during the night, because this goes on all week. I can sort of envision a sort of ticketing system for it, for people who can't go into E3 proper, as this is outside of E3. So they can have some sort of private ticketing thing, but that is sort of in the realms of possibility rather than actually is. They could do it. I can envision some sort of system for it, but it's, well, dealing with the E3 crowd is going to be probably big enough as it is, so I can envision it, but probably not. Then there's a quote here by Mike Wilson, one of the co-founders of Devolver Digital, saying, "This is the week the entire industry and fans everywhere celebrate video games as entertainment and art, with numerous events now happening across all of Los Angeles." As a sort of interconnected sectioning to all of this, there's going to be other groups that Devolver Digital is either owning or connected with, like Indie Mega Booth. I know of Indie Mega Booth because Indie Mega Booth are the people that go to Gamescom, and I have actually kind of done things through them. It's things through them rather than with them, because that was where the Move or Die developer was when I talked to him, when I had a little chat with him. You can find all of that stuff on the website. That was a write-up, so make sure you go to our website and read our stuff, because we do a lot of stuff. So that's another thing for E3, but it's not E3 proper. This whole E3 thing is sort of diversifying a lot more. You can see it with things like the Bethesda conference and the PC Gamer conference. It's stuff that is with it, but not in it. To basically try and run the whole thing off. It's good. Yes, this is our E3 conference. It's next door, or something. It's sort of nearby. It makes media life a giant pain in the ass, because that means you have to run around you have to run around fucking downtown LA, which is a pain in the ass, because I understand Los Angeles traffic. I live in London as well. Roads here are shit. But diversity is good, and having all these various companies, and as I said before, Devolver Digital is fun. So, it's basically a picnic. Probably not beer. Would hope there would be beer. If I was there, I would want beer. Because it's probably going to be really fucking hot. Because it's Los Angeles in June. And this last one is a very short release. Literally only 2 paragraphs long. And that is, there is a new Director General of the Video Standards Council, and that person is Ian Rice, following the previous Director General's retirement. This may sound like a very small story, but it has a big impact for sort of the European video gaming ecosystem. As it says here in this notes to editors thing right at the very bottom, in 2012 the VSIC was appointed as the statutory UK video games regulator, using the Pan-European Games Information, the PEGI system, to rate video games accordingly. So basically he now heads the company that is the age certification company, the person who does the age certifications for the UK using the European PEGI system. So it is a very, very small story, but it is one that is certainly quite integral to, like I said before, it's very integral to the UK video game ecosystem. And from there, as it is the beginning of the week, we are going to go on to the Chart Track All Formats Weekly Charts, again, graciously supplied by UKIE Limited. And Prey has eked itself into the top spot, knocking down Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which hasn't gone far. It's only gone down to number 3, so it still is in the top 3. And Grand Theft Auto has, again, clawed its way back to being number 2. Although, there are 2 new additions to the list, and that is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil 7 has appeared back again into number 11 somehow. I think there must have been an update or DLC. I don't know. Probably was. And then Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I guess the Zombies Chronicles things must have sold some copies. I guess so. I'm not going to keep going on about the whole Zombies Chronicles DLC. I spent 2 episodes complaining about that already, so I'm going to just leave that there. And to have an end, here are the games that are going to be released this week. As a very odd sort of part of the scheduling system, there's a whole bunch of games that are registered as 2017. You can see them here. I'm not going to go through them. I'm not going to go through them individually, but there's that odd list that was somehow part of it. And so the games with dates are Birthday's the Beginning for PS4, Mind Jam, The Guru Knowledge for Android, Vindictive Drive for PC, Displaced for PC Online, Empathy for PC, Galactic Warrior for Android, Murder Most Misfortunate for Linux, Mac and PC Online, Prescription for Serenity for Android and iOS, Ryan for PS4, Roku for PC, Seasons After Fall, the PS1, Xbox One editions, Steam Hammer for PC Online, The Surge for PC, PS4, Xbox One, Trigger Time for Linux and PC Online, Anybody Out There, Dead City for Android and iOS, Ballot Barrage for iOS, Production Line for PC, A Whole New World for Linux, Mac, PC and Xbox One, A Walk in the Dark for Xbox One, Akiba's Beat for PS4 and PS Vita, Endless Space for PC, Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia for 3DS, Skylar and Plux Adventure on Clover Island for PC, PS4 and Xbox One, and Voxel Shot VR for PC. And so that is it for today. If you found this episode informative, please do consider subscribing and sharing the video around. It always helps. And I will see you on Friday for the next Press Rush.